This video is going to show you a solo GM getting platinum rank for week 2 of Act 2. The weekly feature GM is Arms Dealer. Just a quick note, reminder to people, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, as it's critical to the success of the channel. The reason why you want to subscribe today is as follows. So I'm aware that Thanksgiving is approaching us, and from my country, we don't do that nonsense. But when Thanksgiving comes, just note, I'll watch your whole family eat dinner. So the modifiers for Arms Dealer, well, the main modifier, okay, because each GM has a unique modifier linked to it. The main modifier of Arms Dealer is Chill Touch. Enemies who melee you will slow you. This can be a bit of a nuisance, but that's what the modifier is. More on that in the run. The surges, when I did this, was Arc Surge and Stasis Surge. That will rotate at reset. I do not know what the surges will be at reset. Solar Threat is always on, and Champions are barrier non-stop. Let's talk about loadout, and let's be exactly direct. There's going to be little filler in this video, because I believe in some of my videos I've been giving you too much filler. I've heard it. I'm going to try to stop giving you filler in all directions. Glacial Quake is the super that we choose. We got Rally Barricade for hostile fire. We have Frenzied Blade for free concentration slams. We have Glacier Grenade for shatter damage plus stun on unstoppable champions. We have Knockout for health regen. We have Consecration for the Consecration build. We have Facet of Purpose for frost armor when we pick up an orb. We have Facet of Blessing for health regen, which does stack with Knockout. We have Facet of Protection for resistance when we are Transcendent. We have Facet of Dawn for Radiant, which is a buff to damage. And we have Facet of Awakening for a +3 resilience stat. It does give us an elemental pickup, but I'm currently reworking my stats on the Titan to get a higher strength stat. I need to focus some armor for higher strength builds, because a majority of my builds on Titan historically have been discipline based. But obviously with Prismatic Titan, you want more strength. So I've just got +3 10 resilience so that I can rework and get more distribution in my strength. That is the only reason why that is on. We're pairing this with the Mountaintop, which is a goat of a weapon in this. We're using Polaris Lance for a long-range exotic primary, because it's Barrier Scar Rifle. We're using Chill Inhibitor, the god roll that Banshee sold. Here is our stuff. We had in the enhanced version of Hail the Storm, shattering frozen targets and stasis criticals deals increased damage. We've got Brain Freeze on, Kinetic Impacts, Concussive Reload, Armor of Eramis, Wind Chill, Crystalline Converter, one with Frost, Rapid Impacts. We did not have Overload GL on. That is a critical aspect to this. Don't put Overload GL on, you don't need it. Armor mods was as follows. Helmet was Special Ammo Finder, Solar Siphon, hands-on. Arms was heavy-handed, Solar Loader, melee kickstart. Chestplate was double Solar Resist, Concussive Dampener. Scavenger mods on the boots with a recuperation mod for health regen. Double outreach procs ward on the class piece. It's an exotic class item. Here is my role. I recommend this to all Titan mains. Spirit of Assassin, Spirit of Symphoseps. We also had a bottle popped. This is the bottle. Hail the Storm, lasts 48 minutes, which will cover your solo, shattering frozen targets, and stasis crystals deals increased damage. We had this bottle active when we done this, which I highly recommend that you do that because of the build. That was a setup. So as we start the run, we want to approach the ads and get a Consecration melee off as soon as. This will give us Radiant and it will take out all the ads. See, when you explode that barrel, it does additional damage to the barrier. We didn't even have Symphos proc there in time, and we still got a lot of damage off. Then we melted with Chill Inhibitor, the role of Banshee that you should have already bought by now. We get our scan, and that's the first section done. Simple as. Right? Now on the outside section, your next goal is the snipers. Then the Thresher. We're going to keep popping our Rally Barricade here and there because we've got double outreach on, so that'll generate us a bit more melee energy. We take out the two snipers at the back, then we use Mountaintop to take out the Thresher. Now this is why we've got Mountaintop on. It makes the GM more consistent if you've got a good weapon to deal with Threshers. Polaris Lance, whilst it's super OP, isn't very good for dealing with Threshers. Wish Ender's okay at dealing with Threshers as well. So if you wanted to use Wish Ender, I'm not saying that you can't. But I do think, you know, Mountaintop is very, very good in this. So now we'll try to deal with one of the Banes in mid. In this case, it's a Shock Bane. So we want to take out that Bane, because that Bane in mid, generally that Bane will push up to the enemies that help us, the PvE AI enemies, Cato's enemies, allies or whatever. Then we'll start looking at barrier. Right now, when you're fighting from a range like this, try and pop your barricade when possible, because this will give you they'll target your barrier. We're going to use Chill Inhibitor here, okay, just to melt. We don't care if we melt 1 or 2, if we do extra 2 shots, doesn't matter, just melt until that barrier is dead. You want to take out that barrier ASAP. We've got Super and Transcendence, and I haven't used neither yet. Don't worry, we're going to use it. In my opinion, this is a good way of doing this. So we'll put in some chip damage, then we're going to try and get a invis, right, to push up so that we're at full HP. Get a Glacier Dam, then Super. I don't recommend that you pop your Transcendence here just yet, because this section's dealt with really quickly. That if you pop Transcendence, you better make sure that you've got it back. And Mountaintop does not give as much Transcendence energy as, say, a Area Denial GL, but the Area Denial GL will not do damage as good to Freshers. Alright, so that's why we've got the Mountaintop on, and we're playing from range much more. We'll get a Transcendence as we jump over. This is a place where you can wipe. We'll get our Consecration Slams, and we'll kill this guy. We need to go invis off the dogs. We get invis off dogs. We've got Transcendence energy left. Then we're going to get a suppression, a shackle, Transcendence nade. We're going to do our Consecration Slams, and then we're going to get ready with Mountaintop for shield break. Boom, done. We'll finish her, or you could melee, either or, up to you. Depends on how these gladiators are pushing. We'll shackle them again, do another Consecration Slam. Bear in mind the sniper's to our right, but if you play it like this, the sniper should not be a worry to you, because you're in Transcendence. And you keep going in Viz and getting health regen, and etc. But I'm going to kill him anyways. I was waiting for the portal, and I get a heavy brick. You know something, I'm just going to go for the heavy brick. I could just, you know, not get the heavy brick, but I may as well go and get it, because I actually have special ammo finder on, not heavy ammo finder. I'm starting to realize or play with special ammo finder as opposed to heavy weapons, because heavy weapons are super strong, but if you're using like a heavy weapon that is just there to complement build, but your exotic primary and special weapon does most of the work, I think special ammo is better finder, because the Mountaintop's more important than the heavy. Not to say that the heavy isn't strong, it absolutely is. We'll do a Consecration Slam here, then get ready with Mountaintop for shield break, because we go Radiant. Remember, do not have Overload GL on. My Radiant ran out there for Mountaintop, that's fine. We use Polaris Lance. And we just keep doing Mountaintop, finish a kill here. So we go invis for 15 seconds. Absolutely incredible on this, 15 seconds. This means we can de-aggro this key VIP target. He's strand shielded, which is odd, but that's what he is. And look, we can put in our damage. The goal is to try and finish him as well, so that we can de-aggro all adds, because the adds are going to spawn. You need to understand this. As soon as you pick up Orb, as soon as you kill him, adds are going to spawn, a champ and stuff. To de-aggro all of those enemies is to go invis, but look, we kill him, so that's unfortunate, but that's fine. It's not game over. Pick up Orb as soon as you can and go and dunk it. This is, you're timed now. You are timed, because a Fresher is about to air raid you. You need to immediately dunk and then hide. Hide a little bit and wait for Fresher, because the Fresher is on a rotation. And the Fresher is about to come. Look, the Fresher comes. We're going to use Mountaintop in a minute. Right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to shoot, crouch. Do not let that Fresher hit you at all. The Fresher melts, no matter what power you are. Freshers are OP in GMs. So you've got to be careful of that. Then we're going to start to deal with the adds. Now, we're going to probably pop a super here. Now, our Consecration missed there. That's fine. We'll get an invis kill instead. Now, we're going to have a Colossus that pushes. one Colossus pushes us. The other Colossus will not push. So we'll use a Behemoth, a Glacial Quake there. All the adds are spread out. They're all spread out. So we're just going to use our remainder of our super here. We have a Meteos we need to push back. We have Transcendence to use, and I am going to pop it, which is exactly what we're going to do. But all the adds are spread out because they're fighting. There's RNG elements with Arms Dealer. Adds are ported behind me. I have not noticed. Now I've noticed. So we need to loop around, get our Invis Consecration so that we can start to strategize a little bit. We'll check them where adds are. The barrier is roaming. All the adds are roaming around. That's fine. He's pushed. We'll pop Transcendence. Get a Shackle. Consecration. We need to take out that Colossus. That is the next goal, really. Barrier will be dealt with no problem. He pushes. Perfect. Do our Consecration here. We are Radiant. That's fine. Do another Shackle. We'll get slowed here. That's unfortunate. We'll just melt with Chili Inhibitor anyways. And Transcendence is just about to end. So on this GM, you will notice that not saying that people will be able to do really well with Transcendence Prismatic this week. Of course they will. I'm just saying that because it's a long-range GM, you get less viability out of a CQC build because adds are so separated out, so you get less Consecration kills per Consecration. I think that's pretty damn obvious. That's a fact, I think. Right? So this is where you're going to see this week long-range builds have a lot of utility in this. We're going to get a Consecration Slam here to stun, and then our rotation is Mountaintop, Bait and Switch, Chill Inhibitor, and that's another way of melting down champs. That's why we've got this GL on. It's also Stasis, so it does us Dark Energy, because Mountaintop, whilst it gives light and dark energy, doesn't do what Area Denial GLs do. So we wanted Dark Energy in our setup, because Polaris Lance is a light weapon, so it's not going to give us dark energy. So we need to consider that in our build. So if you want to use a Strand heavy, Stasis heavy, I recommend, like I say, if you're going to use Mountaintop, definitely have something on that way. Glacier Grenade will also give us dark energy, so there is that as well. And Consecration gives a bit of both, obviously. So we're good there. So this bit, Fresher spawns in. We can't push yet. I wouldn't recommend popping Transcendence and trying to deal with that while you deal with the Fresher. Absolutely not. Not saying it's not possible. Anything's possible in the game, like I've said in the past. But, you know, look, we want to take out Fresher first, then we go in for the adds. So we're doing that now. Mountaintop's doing a good job damage. Now it's overcharged, is Mountaintop. I'm going to tell you why it's overcharged. It's overcharged because I matched the Surge. So it's Stasis Surge. It might not be Stasis Surge as of reset. That will not end your run. You're still going to be able to use Glacial Quake and do everything that I did in the run. It's not a necessity to have Stasis Surge up. It'll help you a little bit, but as long as you got a bottle popped, your super's going to do everything for you. Just that Mountaintop will do a little bit less damage with it not being overcharged. It will be overcharged if you run a overcharged GL, but it's nice to just have it as a barrier weapon. But again, you could just do it as overcharged GL, but just remember you can't stun shields with Mountaintop then. You need to rely on your heavy and your Polaris a bit more. Again, that is not a necessity, it's just a quality of life thing to have Radiant barrier on Mountaintop in this. That's what I found. And it's still overcharged because I've matched a Surge for the GM. Overcharged weapons. Connect weapons do increased damage when you match a Surge. We've matched the Surge because we've got a Stasis super on, and that's exactly what it is. Right, let's explain about chips, because this is absolutely critical to solo. If you do not understand this element, you will fail. You need to realize these guns can be shot down. So the guns with the light on, they don't take any damage numbers. Mountaintop can 3-4 shots, 3 to 4 shot them down if you have the if you hit your shots. It's missing the actual gun model. So there's nowhere in the game it tells you that you can do this, but you can. If you go up close, the gun will melt you down. You need to take down the gun. I'm just going to scout that gun down. Look, it breaks off. There's no damage numbers. There should be, but again, like I said at the start of the video, I'm not going to do a filler. I'm not going to complain about it too much. I'm just going to tell you, look, you can shoot them down. You need to know about that. The game isn't telling us that we need to do it, but I guess I've told you. So there you go. You heard it here. Do that, then we can deal with champs. So we're going to do some bait and switch damage. We get hit by a nade there. That's fine though. That's why I sort of pull back a bit after that nade hit me. We want to deal with the barrier first. All right, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll debuff first with Mountaintop. Then we'll get a shield break with Polaris. Right, that's fine. And then we'll do our chill inhibitor damage. Melt down the barrier. That's good. Now, once you have killed Unstop, more enemies come out. You need to be on top of the next enemy spawn, and you can kind of wave kill them. That's exactly what you want to do. Because once you spread out, it becomes more of a nuisance. Get a Glacier down. We'll do some debuff damage to this guy, and we'll do our consecration. We just get our invis. That was lucky because they jumped out of it. Then we'll do another consecration, and we've isolated the ads away from this guy because this guy two-shots. For some reason, he two-shots the void stuff. So these Shadow Guard Centurions need to be, honestly, you need to keep on top of those because they're at the boss fight and they melt. But it's not even Void Fret, it's Solar Fret. I don't know why they melt so much, but they do. Anyways, dunk the orb. Then we're going to pop a Transcendence. This was not the best Transcendence pop, but the ads did not behave for me. And they actually sort of ported on me. I'm going to check my radar. So look at that. You see my radar? There was nothing behind me, and then there was. So, again, I'm not complaining too much. I'm just saying, look, ads can port, mess you up. Pay attention to that radar, I guess. It's my bad. It's my fault. That's fine. We have a Shock Bane here. And we can keep doing our consecration. We lose our Transcendence there. So that could have been dealt with better by me, obviously. We have a Glacier left over. So we'll get a stun there. It did not stun for some reason. That's fine. We'll do a barricade here to have hostile on us, on the barricade that is, which look, you can see it's actively working there. The PvE allies, Catel's allies or whatever, they are basically confusing the Unstop. So do you see how much damage they're doing to the Unstop? He's not even stunned. They're doing massive damage. So you can manipulate enemies in this by using the Ascendant Guards. Alright? You can basically now, yeah, like look, we're taken from a range with Polaris. We could pop super, we could go in there, but I'm going to use super in the next room because, to be honest with you, this part isn't a problem to us. Look, there's no fret, there's no freshers, there's no nothing. There is a sniper, 3 snipers, 2 Scions, 1 Ultra VIP. So we're going to push up now to left or right, I recommend. Left's got good cover, so go there. So we'll just make sure we get this guy here. Snipers hit very hard in this because of Solar Fret. I believe you're 2-shot. You are a 2-shot with Solar Resist. It does not matter. So we had Birthplace of the Vile last week where we were, tanky as hell. Okay, now this, we're back to regular day life GM. We're now getting hit as we should be, basically. Being 2-shot by a sniper in a Solar Fret GM is probably right. I'm just making you aware of it that you can get hit hard by snipers, so you need to make sure that you're keeping on top of your Scion snipers in this, and there's lots of them. We have a Bane for the Shadow Guard. He's generally the Bane, from my experience today. Again, he could be Mine, Drain, you can imagine whichever one he can be. But don't worry, because you can de-aggro and re-aggro him and let the enemies take his aggro. Okay? Which there's going to be more on that. I'll mention that more when we get to the final boss. We spawn our skimmer. Let's just make our way through. Now you can spawn kill the tank with Glacial Quake. However, it's close if you die or not. If the tank does some funky damage to you, you can die in your super still. Because if the tank sort of touches you, it classes as running you over type deal, and once your super ends, the tank can kill you if you haven't wiped the tank. So it's something that you got to be careful of. So we use a Glacial Quake there to deal with the enemies, because what it is, When the tank is at full HP, the enemies push you. But when the tank gets below half, they want to hide round the corner. So the goal is not the tank, the adds. The adds are the nuisance in this, not the tank, because I'll show you the tank in terms of how much damage we can do. Just be careful of the tank's missile. On direct hit, it should one-shot or leave you one-shot. So just be careful of that. But we debuff with Mountaintop, takes one shot, and we need to break legs. Breaking 2 legs on the tank will kill. Look at that. Movement was sloppy there. So just be careful. We got lucky. But yeah, we can deal with the tank very easily, and we can generate super energy off the tank. So we're using the tank to get super back off him. Okay, so we're doing that now. We broke that leg. We just need to break the right leg. That's fine. Again, as I say, we can generate super off him. That's good. Well, we got a third. Which is below a third, I would say. Snipers spawn in as well, so we need to look at those. Because even if there's just 2 signs up, if both of them hit you while you're trying to deal with things, then, you know, that could be obviously game over. So you've got to be careful. This is where the Consecration Prismatic Titan build will fall down for you a little bit, because the adds are just not grouped up. They're not grouped up for anything, really. There is a way to group them up. I didn't get chance to try it properly on this run, and I can't redo it until reset, which I will be doing Arms Dealer a lot this week with various different builds. You can suggest a build to me. One thing I would just say to you, the viewer, please, 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 some of you come up with some great ideas, but you're not specific enough. Try to provide as much details as possible. You're more likely for me to do a build with something. So, for example, there's a guy that keeps saying about the I think it's the trip mine build or something on Hunter. Be more particular about that. Why exactly do you want a trip mine build on Hunter? Why is it? Why exactly is that? Is there something special about that? You know, I haven't played with that build. That's just one example. So when you're recommending a build, try to give as many details as why you want that build covered. All right? At least make your comment 2 sentences so I can sort of understand and, you know, on what you're exactly suggesting to me. And try to think about the GM in mind. Don't just say something like, oh, I want you to try this build. Is the build, you know, is it got the GM in mind? Because there's different styles of GMs. There's long-range GMs, short-range GMs, etc., etc. So the barriers spawn out of that room, which on this run I had to remind myself on enemy spawns because I have not done Arms Dealer in quite a bit. Okay, so there was that, but I wasn't sure where the barrier spawns. He spawns out of that door. This is a decent place to fight. It's not too bad. Unstop. Hopefully we can get a stun there. With the crystal we don't. We have a consecration slam, so we'll have to do our rotation where we do mountaintop, bait and switch with chili inhibitor to melt down. That's why we've got it on as a other option for when we're dealing with unstops. Because obviously we haven't got an unstop weapon on. We're relying on consecration and glacier and glacial quake, the nade as well. So that's that done. Then we will scan this here. Now, dogs spawn behind us, and they do it twice as a surprise mechanic. Okay, so it happens initially, like here, and it happens again when the Tormentor gets weak in HP, weaker than full HP at all. We'll use a glacial quake here. I don't want to go too close because all those turrets, all right, but I don't want to deal with the turrets at all because they despawn when you kill Tormentor. So this was unfortunate as well. We're just out of range of that Tormentor to get the good damage off, but at least this crystal's up to deal with all these adds, because you want to isolate the orange bars and the red bars away from the Tormentor. We don't need to deal with the turrets at all because they despawn. All adds despawn once you have killed a Tormentor. So I just want to show you a safe strat on how to deal with the Tormentor without having to deal with additional adds. And this is it. We need to break both arms off the Tormentor, of course. So we're using Polaris for that, which is going to provide us with good super energy. We have a Transcendence, which This Tormentor is not a boss Tormentor. He is a major Tormentor, and the distinction is this: you can actually shackle him. He's not a boss. Whereas, let me think, the strike, the one on Neomuna has a boss Tormentor. The Neomuna strike. You cannot shackle him. You can add shackle damage, like that sort of stuff, but it doesn't physically shackle. This one can be shackled. So that's a key thing. But you'll do more damage to the Tormentor once both crits are done. Both shoulder plates are off. Then you can do more damage with super, you can transcendence him, etc. But I'm just showing you, look, how far you can go back, because you can actually manipulate the Tormentor, which I'm going to show you that now. So now he's enraged, he will chase us, but he won't chase us so far away. There's a limit to what he can do. For some reason, on certain enemy types, and this has been known from in the past, enemy types have a limit on where they can go, because there's certain strikes that are longer than others. So in theory, say for example an unstoppable champ, if they constantly chased you, you could have them backtrack all the way to the start of a strike. Imagine, that's not true though. They have a limit. So this Tormentor will only push us until here. Once the room, okay, once you come out of the room, look, he'll only go to there. And if he does his enraged slam, he will jump in here, but he'll always back up. He'll never. So you're actually safe. Like, look, he'll do his slam. That's fine. He can do his slam all day. All right. But he won't actually push us any further than this. We'll use a Transcendence now, because we can keep shackling him over and over. We'll do some bait and switch damage. We'll keep shackling him. We're not doing the best damage with Consecration because we've got no Symphoceps, but we are actually doing some damage. So I recommend that you just try and keep shackling him and doing some bait and switch. Look at the ads. Snipers spawn in when Tormentor gets to a third HP. That would be a problem if we were in that room, because they would spawn on top of you while you're trying to kill him. We do have super, but we can finish him, so that there's no need for us to use super right now. Skimmer's next to us. Got to be careful if a Sparrow or a Skimmer is next to you. If it explodes when the Tormentor does his shot, then you would die. So just be careful of that. He's finishable. We're going to bait out a slam like that, which he does that, just in case there's any shenanigans that goes on where we try and finish him but he suppresses you at the same time. That can absolutely happen. Adds despawn. There is a Bane that does not despawn. I recommend at this point you only look for ammo and then run past. Whether we're invis or not, you're getting past there. Unless it's maybe a Drain Bane, you would have to take him out. But that's no big deal. We've got a super to use. We will use it. We do not have Transcendence, but we don't need it really for the next room at all. Almost got our Glacier Grenade as well, so we have that. We're just going to basically use our super right away to get rid of the boss and take out all turrets. You don't need to, as I say, take this bit. You don't need to sit on a super is what I'm saying, because you'll get your super back when you need it anyway. So you have license to use a free super, so let's just use it here. We could use it on Unstop, but I think it'd be better just to use it on these turrets and get rid of the boss, because damage dealt to boss will move him. It will move him to the next platform, spawning the next bit. That's good. Unstop is now recognized as we have a shock bane, I think. We're going to stun with Consecration, Mountaintop, bait and switch damage, and that melts the Unstop. So you can see why I don't want the super for the Unstop, because we can melt him so quickly with what, 6 shots from our GL. So we don't really need the super for the champ. Providing you got Consecration Slam, which you should. We have a Shock Bane here. He's pushing all the way back. There's turrets up to take out. Look at this place we can stand. I'm just showing you a place. This place is good for other classes that are on a long range build. So I'm showing you a long range style of doing it. I could, yes, pop Transcendence and all that shenanigans. But I'm just showing you can do it like this as well. So Mountaintop's doing massive damage for us. Like I say, with an Area Denial GL, we wouldn't be able to do the same thing, would we? Because Area Denial GL has range drop off. What I mean by that is, if you try and shoot your original GL at 40 meters, it disappears. The GL. Right? Same thing with like Anarchy, Prospect. If you try and shoot them at 30, 40 meters, they explode in the air. But for an original GL, it'll just disappear after a meterage. So you wouldn't be able to hit all the champs at the distances that I'm doing. Therefore, Mountaintop's better for this because we're playing from a range like this. But it's not as good for Transcendence Energy, but we got plenty of Transcendence. I don't know what's hitting us, but there's a turret up on left. I didn't realise there was still a turret up. It's a turret that's doing ricochet rounds on us or something weird. I couldn't see it, but it was there. That's fine. It's the air hangar thing. We'll deal with these ads because they need you. They are the threat, not the barrier. The barrier is definitely not the threat. It is the nades, because a nade will get you. It will break your shields. So we can debuff. We can break shield with the Polaris Lance. Now I know that there's only a barrier and a couple of ads. It's 3 ads in a barrier, so it's not even worth to pop Transcendence. It's not even worth to pop a super. It's not worth any of it because we're coming to the boss fight, and that's when we do need our stuff. So it doesn't matter. Honestly, it really doesn't matter. See, that's the thing. It's a long-range GM. Therefore, a long-range build suits Arms Dealer down to the ground. You know, Sissel Nighthawk on a Hunter, a Dawn Chorus Solar Warlock, a Prismatic Warlock, because that's kind of a long-range build as well. You know, stuff like that. You could do Solar Hammers if Solar Surge was up. I don't know what Surge is coming up. That's more of a long-range build where, you know, you get plenty of supers and you can use your super from a distance. But what I will say is about my build is that it's very, very good for getting dunks, because obviously Arms Dealer got reworked where you have to dunk. But when you dunk relics, ads are a bit of a problem. Can be. This build helps and assists with that, whereas a Solar Arc or Void build would not assist you with that as well. You would have to adapt and dunk relic slightly differently. You would have to be more tactical with your relic dunks. Relic dunks are critical. They are absolutely critical. Not for me though, because I get 15 seconds of invis on a finisher or powered melee attack. So look, that's what it's so good for. So even though we can't take full advantage of our consecration build on this, we can still do some good tactical things with going invis and stuff. So we're checking our tonic. 18 minutes left on the tonic. That's more than enough time to get rid of this boss. So this is how you want to do the boss fight. Immediately turn around and sprint here. The turrets will melt you, but they have a range drop off. If you come so far back, you can melt them and they close up. That is an important distinction to make with turrets when fighting them. If you fight them up close, let's say 25 meters, they're open. They will do massive lane damage on you. Look at the turret damage there on my left. All right, but when you come back here, you can Polaris Lance them very easily. This is very easy way of dealing with the boss fight. There's no real threat apart from the final phase, but we have that covered on how you do it anyways. So, boss will two-shot us. Take note on how much damage he's doing per snipe. Take all turrets out first. Then what I was thinking of a couple of ways of doing this. There's so many ways I could do this, but I was thinking, what's the best way for somebody else? Well, the best way would be just to do some chip damage, and what I mean by that is edge damage, edging the boss a little bit, right, like so. So we're doing a bit of Polaris damage. We've got super and transcendence. What we're going to do is weaken the boss, and then we're going to do a rotation of heavy, because we don't need our heavy for much. Chill inhibitor, we don't need it for, even though it's fantastic, we're using it as a disposable weapon. So what I mean by that is that we're using it for burst damage and spamming it. But if we run out of heavy, it's not critical to the run if we do, because the build takes care of itself. So we're going to do some bait and switch damage, send the boss Send the boss as quickly as possible to immune like that. Then we're going to glacier grenade down in middle and a consecration slam. Be careful of boss, but if your movement's good like that, where you hide from him, then you take out all turrets and then spam super. The reason why we use super is because what's happening is he's on his pedestal, the boss, but he can snipe you, right? So while he's trying to snipe us, we have just took care of all snipers because of damage resist. We're getting a huge damage resist bump when we're in our glacial quake. So we're using it as a defensive style tool whilst ads are up and boss is sniping us. We're dealing with all ads, and then we come under his tower. Because once you come under his tower, he cannot snipe you. All ads are down. We have transitioned throughout all of that, no problem. So do you see how smooth this is going? Right? Because of us understanding where the enemies are coming from, what door. Because we know that in advance, we can deal with it. Now you need to come back here. This is where you want to stand for phase 2. It is critical that you stand here for phase 2. If you do not, the ship is going to destroy you. Whether you're in a super or not, the ship will destroy you. So be careful of that. There's a ship coming. He sends up his airstrike thing. Ship comes to our right. It's not a fresher. Who knows the name of the ship? I don't know. It's a different style. It's got a gun on it. It's a fresher with a carriage of enemies, I guess. Right? I think so, at least. Yeah, I think it does have enemies in it. The other enemies that are spawning now are from doors. So we're going to pop a Transcendency when the ship starts to back off a little bit. But we're going to get an invis, so it is safe. The fresher is hitting us. Yes, you can see the damage, but we're in Transcendence. We've got protection on. We are going invis. So we have not dealt with the ship. But if you stand back there for too long, the ads start to nade the hell out of you, and then it becomes to be in that situation of you being a sitting duck. If you take out all the ads whilst the ship goes back, right, the ads won't push you because they are lower in number. It's an AI path. Now we can deal with the gun. Look at the gun. We just take it out with Polaris or Mountaintop, right, whichever. It's hard to hit it with Mountaintop because the object, the gun, has no... it's not coded as an enemy type properly. It's not actually coded, but you can shoot it down. It's like the cannon on tanks. You can shoot down a cannon off a tank. It's the same deal as that. Once you do that, then you're good. You can you're mobile now. Now you can do what you want, really. You may have a Bane still alive, which I did. It's a slowed Bane, which in actual fact is good at this point. So we're just going to use a bit of Mountaintop, Glacier, deal with this Gladiator. We'll get him finishable if we can. This guy hits so tough. He hits so hard. Look at that. Now what we're going to do, wait for health regen. Obviously don't start firing your gun yet. We'll do a Consecration Slam. Tactical one, that is. And our goal is to get him finishable. Don't kill him. If you do kill him, do not pick up the orb. We'll pick up the orb and drop it, then deal with the ads. Because the ads will spawn up as you pick up the orb at the back of the map. Okay, so you've got to be extremely careful with that. I'm looking for ammo. This is a good time for me to look for Mountaintop ammo because Mountaintop ammo is really good in this. This is why I've got Special Ammo Finder on. It means I don't need to run Special Finisher because Special Ammo Finder is basically the same as Special Finisher in terms of how much ammo we get off it. So Special Ammo Finder is a high recommend for this one because Mountaintop's our critical weapon. It's the critical weapon because it's dealing with everything from a range with freshers. It's a good weapon for freshers. There are other weapons that's good for freshers. Okay, so now this is where we stand. Boss, we got our dunk with invis. Okay, it meant that the boss couldn't see us. There's a drain Bane. We're almost to our super. We're going to have to pop it, I would say. Yeah, he's jumped up in the air. He's making a nuisance of himself. So we pop super. And our goal is to kill any Banes, which we are doing. So now we'll just keep spamming our stuff. Dogs come out on this. There's 2 waves of dogs. It's based on HP values to the boss. The first wave is immediate. The second wave is after the boss goes from when he moves location. Because the door at the back of the map, if you see there's an actual door, that's where the dogs come out of. Okay, so this is where we're standing for now. The PvE AI enemies that are our allies will help us out tremendously in this, because the boss will aggro on them, not us. So look at this. We can do our chip damage here. We can do mountaintop damage. We can do, any damage we want. We're not popping anything at the minute because we don't need to. Just make sure that you take down the turrets that he spawns in. Doing good damage with mountaintop here. He's moving. That's the next wave of dogs. So look, the door's open at the back of the map. Well, it's just closed now. It closes when the dogs come in. That is the last wave of dogs. So just be critical about that, because they do push you. They don't care about the other enemies as much. They care more about you. The boss, be careful when he's sniping you. He's very accurate, Brakasan, because we're on Grandmaster difficulty and his AI is increased. If you try and do this as a normal strike, he barely snipes you. On this difficulty, he snipes you. He's much more accurate. Just like, look at that. He didn't even have it charged there, his beam. So yeah, you got to be careful with him. Seriously, you got to. So there's going to be another enemy wave. I'm going to try and optimize add wave here, because rather than send the boss immune straight away, which I'm recognizing that there's ads coming out of that door there, which this is an enemy spawn that I wasn't fully aware of. So, okay, enemy spawn on this phase. But I was about to send the boss, but I was thinking, you know what, let's not do that, because we're coming up to a critical section where you can wipe. There's a wipe coming up, potential. If you do not know what you're doing, you will wipe rather quickly. So rather than do that, let's make it easier on ourselves and kill all the ads on the battlefield. We may as well. We can avoid the boss's snipes very easily once we come to mid. Just be careful of any Centurions. They are the problem. Okay? They are the problem. Definitely. But once we have all ads down, we're looking at our radar, because it's a bit of a mess, this strike, because of the PvE allies. The ads are sort of so spread out, you can't tactical kill them. That's why long range builds, I think, are better for this, for most players. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be some expert players that strategize on quick runs this week, on prismatic builds. I'm not saying that either. Of course they will. I can't practice anymore on arms dealer until reset, because I've lost the checkpoint now. And you'll see that, obviously, because I get the completion. This is where you stand for fresher phase. Fresher spawns on this wave here. You need to stand here. If you do not, and that fresher hits you at all, you are wipe. You are killed. In a super, you might be able to survive it, but why have to pop a super when you can just do this? Jump, mountaintop, like this. No ads will push you, as long as you killed the ads wave just before this, right? Freshers down, like I say, spam mountaintop at any cost on that phase. Because if you do mess up at all with the fresher, like I say, it's probably death. And you should not be fighting in mid when there's a fresher above your head. That's asking for a death. Okay, so now we need to optimize ads. Notice that the boss cannot snipe us now. Boss cannot snipe us at all. The Centurion strand shield, like I say, they two-shot you, but because the allies are helping us, their aggro is on them, not us. We need to clean up any gladiators. Gladiators, clear up your radar. Pay attention to your radar, where those ads are. Pay attention to special ammo drops, right? Because this is where you kind of want mountaintop ammo. A rocket launcher is good in this. The only reason, I'll tell you why I didn't run a rocket launcher. I didn't run a rocket launcher because I wanted more burst damage on unstops. That is the reason. But to be honest, mountaintop is a rocket launcher, isn't it? It's a special rocket launcher, basically, because it's shooting. It's a GL, but it operates like a rocket launcher. So I just think mountaintop was supplementing this. I didn't need a rocket launcher. Rockets are good in this. I know rockets aren't meta. GLs are, but in long-range GMs, rocket launchers are actually pretty good. I'm going to use super here. We dunk, because I've seen the ads were looking at us so much, because you can die there. When you do your relic dunk, after you come out of invis, the boss can immediately kill you after you dunk that. I have died like that in the past. Not today, but it has happened to me in the past. So I already know, yep, that's a wipe place, so I pop super. The reason being is because I don't need my super at the moment anyways. We have a Meteor Bane. We're going to finish it or Consecration Slam on him. Just whatever to go invis. This de-aggroes everything. Let's clear out all the Legionaries. Now the boss will be focused on the PvE allies. We need to do some damage to him. But just we need to be in good position. Now, we're not going to do too much damage to him, but we're just going to do enough. And then we're going to backtrack and then wait for turrets to spawn in. We need to do some damage though. And this is the best place to stand when we're being safe on final phase. Because the boss is now super aggro. His AI path has changed. He does not snipe. He uses Legend of Acreus type damage. Listen for the audio cue. So you see there the audio cue comes up. We pop Transcendence. And then the strategy is that we're just going to go all the way around the map and do this. Now on a long range build it's all different. You just stand at the back of the map and then use your exotic primary to deal with all the turrets like this. Just be careful though, because the boss will be aggroed on you over that corner. He's very, very aggro heavy on you. Transcendence runs out now. We've got 3 turrets left. We use a Glacier for safety. Turret to my right hit me. I did not realise initially. Put up a Rally. That's why Rally's on. So do you see now why I'm using Rally over Thruster? Thruster, we don't need Thruster because we want aggro. We want a barricade to give us aggro for us and safety measures. So that's why we use Rally. You can actively see me doing that. I've got plenty of special. Now we just want to do some chip damage to the boss. So this will work without Stasis Surge or with Stasis Surge. As long as you've got a bottle tonic popped, right, you should be good. Basically, we're going to melt him. Look at this teleport. Be very, very aware of him doing that. That's very unfortunate. I don't know why he does that, but that's something you got to. That could be a wipe. But basically, you want to make sure he's debuffed with your GL. You're going to come back to the runway, all the way back here, because all the turrets, okay, are going to spawn in on final phase. But the goal is just to debuff and then pop Glacial Quake and then kill him. That was a solo GM on this. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.